So we have previously talked about the different forms that we can have our quadratics in. We started with this vertex form, and it's really easy to see the vertex, HK. Okay, so super easy to spot the vertex. And we can get all this other information out of it, but the primary thing of vertex form is you can see the vertex. We can also be in standard form, which looks like this. The easiest thing to see in standard form was the y-intercept. Okay, C is the y-intercept. And we can find a little bit more information about A there, but that was kind of the key thing. The third form that we have is called the factored form. It's also called the intercept form. So it's when you take the standard form and you factor it. And it might look something like this, okay? But you're going to have factors. The nice thing about factored form is you can see the x-intercepts. That is the bonus feature there. So remember, x-intercepts are when the y value is equal to 0. And your intercepts are going to be right here, P and Q, whatever they are. We're going to do a bunch of examples with that, but that's the nice thing about factored form. Now, with all of them, this A value out in front is going to tell you if it opens up or down. It's going to tell you if it's thinner or fatter or whatever. But the other things that we can see, the vertex, y-intercept, and x-intercept, kind of depend on the form. So we're going to spend some time practicing with this factored form. So flip to the whatever page we left off on, that one. The first thing I want to do is just remind ourselves how to factor. Hopefully you've done this quite a bit, but when we're factoring this, I think we all factor the same way. This plus sign tells you that the signs are the same, and this tells you that they're both positive. So we're going to have plus, plus, and we're looking for numbers that multiply to 12 and add up to 7. So hopefully 3 and 4 work for you. All right, so those are the really basic factoring ones. When you have ones like this, remember we do the umbrella factor with this. So we're going to start both with 2x. And remember, that's too many 2's. If you FOIL this out, you're going to get 4x squared, which is too many. So at some point, we're going to have to divide by 2. We'll deal with that in a bit. This minus sign tells you that the signs are different. So one of them is going to be minus and one's going to be plus. And then we're going to do our umbrella. So we're going to multiply 2 times 3 and we get 6. So we're looking for numbers that multiply to 6 and add up to negative 5. So I think 6, negative 6, and positive 1 will do it. Now remember, we had too many 2's, so both of these are divisible by 2. So go ahead and divide them by 2. And that gives us factors of x minus 3, and the other one gets to stay the same, 2x plus 1. So hopefully you remember how to factor. We'll do a few more here just to kind of refresh your brain. Let's actually start with C, because that's another umbrella factor, and we just did that. So we're going to start with 3x and 3x. This plus sign here means that the signs are the same, and this tells us that they're both negative. Then we're going to umbrella, and we get 6 again. So I need factors of 6 to add up to negative 7. So negative 6 and negative 1 will work. And we need to divide out that extra 3 that we had. So these are both divisible by 3. So we get x minus 2 and 3x minus 1. All right, B is one of those simple factors again. So they're both going to start with x. The plus sign means that they're the same, and that tells us they're both negative. So we're looking for things that multiply to 15 and add up to negative 8. So I think negative 3 and negative 5 will work. And then A, hopefully you recognize this. This one's called the difference of squares. And difference of squares are the ones that factor into one of them's plus and one of them's minus. And to find out what it is, you take the square root of both these things. That's why we call it the difference of squares. It's a minus sign, and then these are both perfect squares. So the square root of x squared is just x, so that starts both of them. The square root of 9 is 3, so that ends both of them. So x plus 3x minus 3. So we'll be doing a lot with factoring here over the next several days, well, all semester really. So hopefully you remember that. If you don't remember how to factor well, definitely come see me. Ask me for where you can get some extra practice because it's pretty important. All right, so now what we want to talk about is how this relates to our quadratics. So we have a picture here of the graph y equals x squared plus 2x minus 8. So you can see its graph there. They already did that. Now, they want us to see how the zeros compare to the factors. So let's factor this thing. We have x and x. The signs are going to be different. And we're looking for things that multiply to negative 8 and add up to 2. So positive 4 and negative 2. Now, if you look at the factors and you look at these coordinates, hopefully you'll see a little connection there. Notice you have negative 4 and x plus 4. You have positive 2 and x minus 2. What happens if you set both of these factors equal to 0 and solve those two mini equations, those give you the x-intercepts. And another word for x-intercepts are zeros because we can set those factors equal to 0. So that's a really powerful thing because we can solve equations and we can find x-intercepts from the factored form. And we'll do a little bit of that here in the next video.